It is 5.5 hours later after the last video, and we've been working pretty solidly on everything over here in the yard. So we can't burn, it's too dry, it's too windy. We can't chip because the chipper is currently out of action. So I've got everything piled, but hopefully you can see the progress. The camera's not going to do as good a justice as the human eye will, but let's take a look. So we've got everything over here. We've got fence row, nice and clean. We had a good conversation with the neighbor. We learned a few things about the property. Got some ivy to take care of here. The saw is absolutely out of battery power. Ran into the last bar. Ran out an 8 amp hour and a 12 amp hour, pushing a fairly good sized blade. If the blade had been smaller and the wood not quite so prevalent throughout the yard, I think we would have run a lot further. That said, that's the first time I've run out the 12 amp hour battery that I wasn't running a leaf blower, so I'm pretty impressed with that. We've made pretty good progress all throughout this section. I've got another one to finish here that the saw just doesn't have the battery power for, and then one there. Apparently this section right here is where our septic system is, next to the house. So I'm going to get a rod and poke it down in the ground while this is really dry. Finish taking out the rest of this tree. Might just pull it with the truck because we got a straight shot from the front yard, or I might back the trailer in here and use the winch to pull this. And I've got another one over here to pull, and this stake is in there, and then this tree back here to get that one pulled out as well. And apparently the shed that is here actually came from the neighbor's yard. It was blown over and landed on this and took it out, and I'm gonna disassemble that. So we're gonna first full yard walk around of what everything looks like. Some surface roots here, groundhog that we've got full, that we've got a brick in. Nice washout station. Hopefully this area will be a deck, and we will have a walkout door right there. And then this side got cleaned up a little bit more off camera. I got some cutting done here, and then we got this cut right here, and the chainsaw hit something inside that tree back there on the right hand side and fully bound up in the chain. I haven't looked at it yet, exactly what's wrong with it. And I got a little bit more cut down over here to get away from the well, and I'm gonna have to clean up over the well so that I can pull things up and get that area worked on. I might even have to cut that tree down, we'll see, and get most of the rest of this cleared out. This is all going to go away, and apparently there was a propane tank on the other side of the house years ago, but I have a propane line here as well. So I wonder if maybe this was hard to get to because of what they had. I'm not thinking any of this fence is going to stay, and Tammy has suggested that we turn this into a garage with a garage door, and I do like that idea. So that may be getting added to our list of things that we're going to do, and get a first real look at the roof on the other side. Let's go take a look. Now I've been pretty much head down all day working on this, so I haven't really gotten a good peek at what all is going on up there. So pretty good sized limb. And I had planned to get up there with a ladder today, but we don't have a whole lot of time before this possible storm rolls in. Looks to me like it's pretty low slope, maybe 3.5. So we'll see what we can do in there with possibly vaulting that roof and maybe just insulating between the joists or the rafters, and see what we need to do over here. So this power pole is planning to move to right here with the new box and a new socket, and pull all of this old junk wiring off of it. We're going to go with a wireless router for everything for the house. No more of these satellite dishes. And if I clear up all of this section of sky, then we have a pretty good section of sky with this tree being gone as well for possibly Starlink. And we do have the AT&T internet up there. So we do have availability for broadband, but in my personal opinion, I really dislike AT&T. Long stories there. But I'm strongly against using AT&T services if I can possibly avoid it. If I couldn't, well then we'll see what happens. And who knows, if we sell this house and somebody else wants to buy it and put in AT&T, then that's completely up to them. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up for today, and I'm going to finish packing up the rest of the things I'd like to get driving before potentially the rain comes in. We've been dry for a very long time, and there isn't any more rain in the forecast after this, so looks like tomorrow we're going to be taking a good look at the roof and seeing what we need to do. Just out of curiosity, what do you guys think about these types of carports? Like, is that something to save? Is that what people like? We've got the concrete around our support posts here, and they are supposedly adjustable. I think with the right type of adjustable socket or gripper socket for pulling out strip screws, I could probably get those loose and lift it up a little bit higher. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Welcome back. All right, we are up on the roof this morning. I managed to shake my Sawzall apart with the 12-amp battery. Unfortunately, it has snapped a number of the screws, so until I bring another one down tomorrow, I'm done with the cleanup in the back of the yard. But we moved up onto the roof, and I wanted to give you guys a look at what was on the south side of the roof and what was on the north side of the roof. And we've got this big oak tree over here. Actually, that's the first soft spot I've stepped on that. Let's take a look here. Alright, so this is the south side of the roof. There are a few little twigs up here. We've got all kinds of problems with this roof, but it's not nearly as bad as I was concerned it was going to be. And then we come over here onto the north side of the roof, and we've got a leaf garden and a moss garden going on up here. And I just kicked a pretty good sized limb off after making sure there's nobody down below. So I'm going to get this swept off, and there's a coffee can sticking up right there, so it's probably the vent. We'll take a look at that and decide whether I'm going to keep this or I'm going to redeck it and move it down at a different angle. We're going to be taking the satellite dishes down and throwing them down to the yard. Probably not right now. And the shingles were all nice and pretty when they were new. I don't know when this was redone, but the house is built in '64, and it does look like we only have one layer of shingles currently on the roof, as far as I can tell, and then we got one layer of decking underneath of it. So interesting times. All right, so I'm going to set you guys up over here so you can get a view of the cleanup.
I really wanted to get a good look at the roof on this section. I took some dimension measurements on both sides of the roof of what we're going to have remaining once we cut the fully unsupported overhangs off on both sides. Both the south and the north roof are going to be approximately 27 feet wide. The south roof is quite a bit longer. It's 29'3", and it has a pitch of 4.5, so I don't really have any concerns about that side of the roof. From what I could see, looking at everything that was in this video, I'm actually bouncing a lot more than I thought when I'm walking on this roof. Now granted, I'm heavy, but at the same time, that is a lot of flex to this roof in areas that should be fairly well supported. So I'm really curious to see what these joists underneath here look like when we get the ceilings stripped out of the bedrooms and get what very small insulation is out of there, and get a good look at everything underneath. Maybe they just need to be sistered. Maybe I've got some broken boards here and there, but I don't have any evidence of water intrusion, so that's somewhere to start from at the very least, and hopefully it goes well.
Well, the wind is definitely picking up out here. We had a bit of rain last night. We seem to be getting about trace amounts about once a week. 2 weeks in a row, but it is a good 35 degrees colder than it was yesterday. So I got this DeWalt DCE 100 on a pretty good sale. I got it for $75 off from $169. It is not worth $75. If you're thinking about buying a DeWalt for anything other than, I don't know what, moving some loose dust on your sidewalk, don't buy this blower. This blower is so underpowered, it is ridiculous. It is, I don't believe it's brushless, and it drains this 12 amp hour battery in like 45 minutes, and it does a very poor job in the process. I'll use it because it's what I've got with me up here, but I would not recommend this to anyone. Do not buy this if you're thinking about buying a DCE 100. Don't do it. Okay, let's take a look around the roof. So we do have some pretty significant discoloration here and there. All right, so yes, it is a can. It is a can attached to the vent pipe for the bathroom. It's on there better than it seemed when I was sweeping. Now, I'm not going to clean this completely because I'm about to tear all this off and redo this roof one way or another. The power head, as it comes in, as you can see, is a very small, get out of your light here, is a very small size. The rain head that it's on there is a 1.5. This is going to be changed over to a 2-inch pole. I'm going to be putting a 200 amp service in. I do standard boot down below. It's well cut. It's popped up just slightly, so it seems to be keeping water out. However, this whole edge is going to get cut off. And let's take a look down from underneath, and you can see why on the other side. So whoever built this didn't put any supports underneath. That is just the decking running the whole length down. And there used to be a board on the outside and this soffit and fascia hanging down. I pulled that loose because it had been torn off by the storms. And this is all just boxed out in there. I don't know if you can see with the light that we've got. Anything that, let me see if I can get this a little bit brighter for you guys. There we go, long to give this an overhang. I think I'm going to cut this off and do this right. Go down across here with the metal, just kick out. Get rid of this higher portion that's just really not necessary. It's okay. That clearly hasn't had much weathering up underneath here, other than, you know, a normal wind blowing on it. And then looking up, we got this big tree with a good sized dead limb directly over the house. So, questions there. I bring in a lift and cut these branches from over the house. Cut down this big one here, this following up here, Cut this one down. That one might be good for a swing, actually. Yeah. We've been talking about putting a swing. I think that'd be a good limb for a swing. And I could probably get something over this branch right here from right here. That's not as far away as this camera is making it look. I bet it's probably about 15 feet from where I'm standing to that limb. And maybe take this one down over the neighbor's house as well, if I can get over there with it. That way we don't have it hanging over his house. But there's quite a bit of weight in this tree. The base of this tree is well over 3.5 feet across at the base. This tree is going away. This whole thing is going to get thrown away. And now that I've found that limb, and that's a good looking limb for it with this oak, I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll put a swing on that. That looks good. Alright, so the next project is going to be to get these guys off. Looks like they're just standard brackets. They've been bolted in. So I'll bring some silicone out. When I bring the silicone out, I'll take those out. We'll cut this off. There's a couple of humps. I don't know if you can see them. There's a hump right there in the roof. All the rest of it looks and feels fairly solid. I might have to take this decking off or maybe go over it with 5/8 CDX like I've done before. But all right, well, we're gonna get off the roof. We're gonna get back to work. Thank you for coming up here for the cleaning episode with me, and I'll see you guys next time.